Good to go when you are.
Hey everyone, my name is Sina Makari, and I'm here with my co-host Jack Stevenson.
Hello.
And this is the Ogma podcast. And we're doing something a little bit different today. We're here with the co-founder of RIPTK, Jelena Chaing. And she's a 19-year-old entrepreneur. She actually turned 19 just a few days ago. So, happy birthday to you. I know it's a little belated, but she's working on something that I think is really remarkable. She's taking a gap year right now, and I don't want to spoil it, but she's working on something that could really make our lives a lot more convenient in the sense of hardware. A lot of startups out there are working on software solutions like we are, which is totally cool. But it's very rare to see somebody working on a hardware motivated startup. In other words, looking at atoms rather than bits. And so I'm really, really excited to hear a little bit about what she's working on. And she's also working on an NFT project to help fund 20 kids to go to Miami Hack Week. So we have quite a bit to delve into. But without further ado, I just want to say thank you for coming on, Jelena. And we're really looking forward to talking with you today.
Thank you for having me, first of all. And also thank you for the birthday wish. I'm open to any questions that you may have. I know that there's lots to unpack here, but again, I'm open and free to answer any questions if you guys have any.
Awesome. So I guess to kind of just kick things off, can you kind of give a little bit of background on RIPTK and really elaborate on, some of the stuff that I was talking about before, because I think it'll be really cool for our audience to hear about it.
Yeah, of course. So my startup company is called RIPTK, and basically we're a hard tech / deep tech company, and we convert 5G radio frequency waves into viable electricity where we charge electronics such as mobile devices. So our V1 product is going to be this portable charger where you kind of plug into the charging port of your phone, and it'll charge wirelessly whenever, wherever, so long as you're within 5G radio frequency waves. So I'll give you a very high level of like how it works basically. So it's this small little portable charger. The antenna receives, basically the antenna does all the converting. So picks up 5G radio frequency waves from 1.6 gigahertz to 6 gigahertz, and it runs through a series of circuits such as rectifying circuit, voltage regulator, batteries and stuff. I don't want to get too much into technical details, but other than that, just kind of goes through these circuits and it charges your phone. Pretty easy, but here's where the cool part is. So our V1 product is actually this, this phone charger, right? But down the line, we want to expand to other tech. And what I mean by that is that the potentials of this technology is absolutely insane. You're able to charge, you could charge medical devices, EVs, or even power cities, communities using radio frequency waves. Now, the reason why this never really took off in the first place, or the reason why it hasn't existed before, is because there was no real way to monetize it. And also, just like technology development in general, especially in this field, because I understand that 5G and radio frequency waves, it's a very, very niche field. Not that many people like to geek over it. So development in that area is very, very low and very slow. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I do on a very high level. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, so I just want to ask, what gave you the inspiration to start this company initially?
Yeah, of course. So I started this company, my co-founder, I started this company while we were both in high school. It was my last year of high school, so we were in grade 12, and we met through this program called the Knowledge Society, and we just kind of one day just said, hey, like, do you want to start a company together? Because we were talking about our values and stuff, and we realized that our values aligned. We wanted to build something right after high school, and we wanted to make an impact on the world. Very, very cliche when it comes to like you know, oh, like we want to like change the world and stuff. But like that's where our mind was at a year ago, right? And yeah, I mean, we started brainstorming. Our first few ideas, to be completely honest with you, were complete shit. Got shot down by our mentors and stuff. But then I read this article one day, and it was just on 5G and wireless energy, which was pretty interesting, actually. So it was an article from Georgia Tech, and they were able to charge IoT sensors using 5G radio frequency waves. Now, I actually talked to these PhDs who developed it, and I realized that the antenna that they've formed, it's called a Rotman lens, and it's not novel, but it's novel in the sense where a Rotman lens was used to convert 5G radio frequency waves into DC electricity to charge IoT sensors. Not sure if that made any sense. So please let me know if you want me to elaborate on that.
Yeah, IoT is the Internet of Things, just for our audience who just might want some clarification. That's what you're referring to, right? Internet
Yes.
of Things?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you elaborate a bit on what that is, just so our audience gets some context?
On the Rotman lens or the IoT sensors?
Just IoT.
Okay,
just very briefly.
So basically, IoT sensors could vary from RFID chips. So I'm trying to think of like just everyday examples. Do you guys have any ideas?
For sure. Yeah, you can like turn on your sprinkler.
Just
from like clicking on something on your wall. Yeah.
Or even like alarms, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else? I'm having a brain fart here. Like IoT sensors.
Yeah, just to give you guys some context, she was up until 4, working really hard. So she just wanted to let you guys know that. So
yeah, I mean,
she has brain farts.
It's pretty common, especially if you're sleep deprived. So I apologize. But yeah,
but there's also like laundry, like you can take care of. I think it's like I saw this in a movie once. I don't know if people use this in real life yet, but it's like you can ask your stove to just begin cooking, like just verbally, and it just starts. I don't know if that's a thing yet, though.
Don't know if that's a thing. If it is a thing, that'd be super cool. But I'm pretty sure you could make it a thing through some coding, and through some just engineering. But yeah, I mean, oh dang, where was I? I was talking about Rotman lenses.
No, Rotman lens, yeah.
Right. Okay. So Rotman lens design. I don't think it's my. I don't think I can explain it as well as the Georgia Tech PhDs, obviously, but it's basically this very specific antenna design that is this novel concept. But yeah, I mean, not that important because doesn't really relate to what I'm doing. But yeah, that's kind of the start of my inspiration. I read this cool article published by them, and I was like, hey, I mean, if they're able to charge IoT sensors, couldn't we potentially charge mobile devices, right? So then I did a little bit more research, and I found another article on Nikola Tesla's theory on free energy. So that made me even more interested in the whole wireless energy industry, right? Read a few more articles, talked to a few more 5G experts, and my entire process, I kept on asking people, how could this not work? Why would charging a phone using 5G radio frequencies not work? How could we basically destroy this theory, right? I got mixed reactions, or I guess I got different answers from different people. Some people said, yeah, like the theory checks out, the math checks out, this could potentially work. This is going to be very hard though. And then on the other hand, I had some research scientists and engineers that said, I don't know how this works. I don't think it's possible, but good luck on this venture anyway. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what made me decide to say fuck it and like let's just do it and prove other people wrong. But I think it was a mix of stupid courage and optimism. Really, really naive optimism, which I think is super important, especially when it comes to young adults or even students who want to kind of start their own ventures or build their own projects. Don't let the no's sway you from building something cool, right? I mean, I'm currently building my prototype right now with my team, and we're almost finished. We're in the last few stages of finishing the prototype, and it works, right? So had I stopped this project a year ago when I heard my first no, this would have never happened, right? I wouldn't get to talk to you. I wouldn't have any experiences with building a startup, talking to engineers, figuring it out, right? I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And yeah, I mean, to any young listeners out there, like, fuck the haters and fuck people who say no to you, because you can do it. It's gonna be very hard, I will admit. There are times where I wish I had given up, but don't. Like, especially if you have this feeling in your gut and you know that this is gonna work, keep pursuing it. Don't ever stop, because you will make it big. Doesn't matter what other people say. Like, how can they possibly know, right? That's another thing that I was super confused about when I heard my first no from a full-grown adult. I was like, who are you to tell me that I can't do this, right? You don't know what I can or can't do. So I just kind of ignored them, and I just built whatever I wanted. And here I am.
Yeah, and that's really awesome, because someone told me something a little bit similar, where it's like, the market isn't one person, so like, even if you talk to 10 people and they're all like, oh, that idea is bad, or whatever, well, people were saying that about Airbnb in its very early days. Like, the CEO of Airbnb, he was raising at like a $1.5 million valuation, and he was selling 10% of the company for like 150 grand, right? And all of them were like, no, like this, we don't want to invest. And that's totally okay, it's respectable. But no one really expected that this idea would take off. Like, it's not an idea that's really supposed to work, right? Like sleeping in other people's homes, but it works. And had those investors put in 150 grand for that 10%, assuming they get diluted down to like 5% now, they would have $5 billion in Airbnb stock right now. So again, like, the market is not dependent on one person or a few people. You really have to get it out there, see what users want, see what their needs are, and just build for that. And listen, I think that's really, really awesome that you're working on this, because I think a lot of people will really benefit from it. So
thank you. Yeah, I truly believe in this vision of mine. My grand vision and my only goal is to, create this technology where we could power communities. Because right now, I think it's around, the stat is like 900 million people around the world that don't have access to electricity. And that's absolutely insane, considering the fact that we live in a day and age where technology, at least where we are, because I'm in Canada, so it's a first world country, but like, I couldn't imagine, and I'm obviously speaking from a place of privilege, like, I can't imagine a world where I don't have access to electricity, where I don't have access to the internet and learn a bunch of these things, because that's how I got started, right? And imagine if 900 million people got access to electricity and the internet. Imagine what they could build. Imagine the amount of talent that's unlocked, right? So that's my goal at the end of the day, to kind of provide everybody with a reliable source of electricity.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. I guess So one of the questions that I wanted to ask, and we talked a bit about this before the podcast. Um, I was speaking with a few of my family members about your idea because when I was texting you on Twitter, I was like, "Whoa, this is so cool!" I was telling Jack, I was telling my, some of my relatives, and one of the concerns that kept coming up was like, how safe would something like this be? Like with the high frequencies, like would this potentially, be bad for our health? Would it be bad for our bodies? Concerns about things like cancer, for instance. I know that comes up quite a bit with 5G technology. Has this been something that you've kind of looked into, or is there like a response that you want to give, or what are some of the kind of provisions that you're maybe taking to
Yeah, of
make sure it's safe?
course. Um, the health concerns was actually one of the first few things that I started researching, because before I, further developed my prototype and just this company in general, I wanted to make sure that whatever I'm releasing is safe to the public and wouldn't cause any harm. So the great thing about our tech is that we're already using pre-existing 5G radio frequency waves. So we aren't going to transmit extra frequency waves, and we're not only using 5G radio frequency waves, we're using, it's a spectrum, right? So we're using other ambient waves along with 5G. But yeah, it's not going to be a magnet where we kind of attract all of these harmful rays to your body and, uh, create some sort of tumor. That's not the case at all. We're just kind of picking radio frequency waves within the air that already exist. So it's going to be completely isotropic. It's not going to be beamformed. Beamforming is basically where something is specifically directed to your antenna. So if we were to go with beamforming, then it would be like all of these frequency waves would be directed to your antenna. So it'd be, I guess, it'd be more, not powerful per se, but like it'd be not dangerous. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to answer your question, shouldn't be dangerous. And before we release anything to consumers, we're obviously going to have to do extensive research and tests. I never ever want to release anything that would cause harm to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so as of now, I don't have a solid answer for you, unfortunately, but I can say with confidence that this isn't going to cause much harm. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
and you're
hope
going to
that
do
answered your question.
yeah, and you're going to do peer-to-peer testing before this ever gets released to
No,
the
of
public.
course.
So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, I definitely think that, if we were to do this podcast in like a year or something again, you would probably have much more to tell me about that. So I'm looking forward to like hearing a little bit more and learning more about this space. So yeah. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
Jack, do you have any questions?
I do. Yeah, so as we talk about the future of technology, briefly before the podcast, you were mentioning you were doing something within the NFT space. So I just wanted to ask you about the project you're working on, as well as your take on the whole NFT market and what the future of it could be.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I'll explain what I'm working on first of all. So this all started on a Friday evening. Well, actually, yeah, technically it started on a Friday afternoon where I kind of sent out, well, actually, no, it's not Friday. I'm sorry.
See,
These
this
past few days
reminds
have been
me.
an absolute blur.
No. This reminds me of there's like this Family Guy clip where he was talking about how like when you're talking to like a really elderly person about something that happened years ago, and they're like, I remember it so clearly. It was Friday the 14th. No, wait, hold on. It was Friday the 15th. And then Peter's like, no, dude, it doesn't matter what the day is. And then he's like, you know what? I think it was the 17th. And then Peter's like, no, I think it's the 16th. But yeah, no, I just wanted to point that out. That was pretty good. But yeah,
Yeah,
let's
no,
hear it. I want to hear more
that's a
about it.
funny remark. It started on the Thursday actually, because I remember I tweeted that. I was kind of fed up because I got into Miami Hack Week and I was super pumped to go. But that being said, I'm a broke gap year student,
Mhm.
and I can't drop a few racks on this, to go to this event, right? But I was really adamant on going because I was like, this is an awesome opportunity. I get to learn about the Web3 space and just meet a bunch of cool people and build a bunch of cool shit, right? I wanted to go, but I had no funds, and I was like, well, fuck, what do I do? So I looked into scholarships, programs that could potentially sponsor me. I reached out to programs and organizers and stuff. I was like, hey, like, are you willing to sponsor me? Whatever, like, I'm like, you know, I'm so-and-so, and I like build this, and I think like this is super cool what you're doing, but like I really want to go to Miami Hack Week, so can you please sponsor me? A lot of them said no, and a lot of them just ghosted me. So I was like, okay, well, fuck it. If nobody wants to sponsor me, I'll just sponsor myself, right? And I remember this vividly because I sent this out in my group chat with a few of my friends, right? And a few of them got into Miami Hack Week as well. They had no means of going. I mean, like, they had no funds to go. So we were all in the same boat. And I basically kind of like looked at my friends and we're like, okay, well, fuck. We're a bunch of, like, here's a situation. We're a bunch of broke college students or a bunch of like broke gap year students or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got into Miami Hack Week, don't have any money to go there, but we really want to go there. So what do? Well, let's hack it, right? Because I mean, like, that's what I like to do, right? Like, if there's a problem and there isn't an immediate solution, I'll just make like I'll hack it, right? Like I'll figure it out and I'll solve it myself if nobody can help me. Because that's the person that's the kind of person that I am. If you know, if there isn't a solution out there, I'll just create one. So I sent out a tweet. I was like, hey, like, if a few of my friends and I create these NFTs, mint them, is anybody willing to buy them and like help sponsor us to go to Miami Hack Week, right? And 2 people responded to my tweet. It was Gavin and Aaron. Gavin and Aaron, don't know them, met them through Twitter, and they were like, yep, interested, cool. I was like, oh, sick. We got like 2 more people interested in helping. So I created a group chat and I was like, okay, let's do this. We have a few days before Miami Hack Week starts. I think when it started, when I introed that to them, it was like 10 days before Miami Hack Week officially started. I was like, okay, fuck. Like, we're basically doing a hackathon before the hackathon starts. So we said, okay, what do we need? We need a website, we need NFTs, we need to figure out how to mint. And mind you, before I sent out that tweet, I still don't know much about NFTs. So like, in terms of my opinion on NFTs, it's not going to be that helpful, not going to lie. I'm still very new to NFTs, still new to the Web3 space, still new to like crypto. But I saw that NFTs had an opportunity to like help us out. So I was like, you know, I got 10 days to learn about NFTs, crypto, and like how to fucking code. I also barely know how to code. I took maybe like 1 or 2 classes on Python and HTML, didn't know how to code. I was like, what the hell is like Polygon and like Ethereum? I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna figure it out. Like, that's one thing about me, is that like I have a superpower, and that's like figuring things out quickly. If I don't know one thing, I will like, I don't know, like I'll figure it out, right? Like I'll learn super quickly and I'll develop that skill, because I'm very persistent when it comes to like learning about things. But yeah, I mean, started 3 days ago, currently built a website. We're about to launch the scholarship applications. And I think we were like 2 days into the project, and some random guy on Discord DM'd me, and he was like, yo, I'm a sponsor, I could help you guys out. So we added him to the Discord server, and we're like, hey man, what do you got for us? Because we got nothing right now. And he's like, yep, don't worry. I actually got lots of connections to lots of rich people in the NFT and crypto space. They're able to help you out. Let's hop on a call. And I was like, awesome, great. This all happened within less than 24 hours, by the way. So then we're like, okay, cool. We met this guy, talked to him, and we're like, what's next? What do we got to do? And then we had another I guess like 24 hours to like produce all these NFTs, mint them, right? And that happened yesterday. So we started making the NFTs, we started drawing and stuff. Today we're about to mint all of them, and we're about to launch the NFTs today, and we're about to launch the scholarships today. So tons of shit happened within the past 3 days. It's been insane, but basically TLDR, we made NFTs, we're gonna mint them, people are gonna buy them, and with the money, all the proceeds are gonna go towards sponsoring 20 kids or like 20 young adults to go to Miami Hack Week who can't afford it. Why we started it is we're also broke students that can't go to Miami Hack Week, but we want to go, so we did that. I guess future plans, and this is where it gets super cool. So after Miami Hack Week, by the way, we call ourselves the Miami Punks. Like that's the NFT collection. It's called Miami Punks.
Right.
So after Miami Hack Week, my team and I, so my team consists of Aaron,
Farah?
right, Aaron, Farah, and Gavin.
I've done so much research on you. I know everything about you.
Oh, fuck.
No, I'm joking. The thing is, Farah and I, we go to the same school. So I just had a call with her.
Okay.
Yeah,
sick. So it's like me, Farah, Gavin, and Aaron. We've been building this for the past 3 days, but we all agreed that after Miami Hack Week, so after the whole like Miami Punks, and we're gonna make this an annual thing where every year we create NFTs, we sell them to sponsor a new batch of young adults or students who want to go to Miami Hack Week. And on top of that, we're gonna create Hack Punks. Hack Punks is our new project. We haven't developed it yet. It's still in its idea phase, but you're gonna get like a sneak peek to this. Like you're the first to know about this. Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Pretty exciting. So Hack Punks is basically where we kind of mint ourselves as hackers. So basically we're IPOing ourselves. So we, turn ourselves into these trading cards. So each hacker becomes an NFT, right? So for example, I turn myself into an NFT. And if somebody wants to buy my trading card or my NFT, they'll hold on to it, and as I build cool shit, my NFT will go up in value. So long as I create value to the world or whatever, I produce content, get traction on myself or whatever, right? As long as I keep on doing cool shit, my NFT will go up in value. And I guess like this all kind of started because we thought, trading cards exist, right, of athletes, but trading cards of like nerds and hackers don't exist yet. So like, why don't we do that, right? It was kind of like a no-brainer. It's like, okay, well, we got all these like trading cards that go for like millions and thousands of dollars of athletes, and I don't know, I'm not too big into trading cards with athletes, so I don't really know the space, but I was like, okay, if that's a thing, like us nerds, like we need some spotlight, right? So yeah, I mean, that's about it. Trading card for nerds. That's our next project. Hack Punks.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I mean, I would really like to have, like there are a few people in this space who and like, for instance, if someone were to mint, like, I don't know, like create a trading card of like some of the, like actually all of the guests on our podcast that we've had, including yourself, I'd be like, I'd love to do that. Like I'd love to own, like that trading card, because I feel like, the people that we invite onto our podcast, we think that they're going to be really successful. And so it'd be really cool if like, it's kind of like having a rookie Jordan card, and just kind of, like it's just, imagine having like a card for Nikita Beer. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, so it's like,
lately.
Oh, I know. It's I think what he raised like $100 million in a Series A without like a product or launch.
Which is insane.
Yeah. but I'm just going on a bit of a tangent, but
That's okay.
I was doing a bit of research on him because I kept seeing these tweets, and it turns out that in college he actually created an app that might have like swung the 2012 presidential election. It was like an app that basically like informs you of like how much money you would be saving from like taxes or how much you would be benefiting based on your postal code in the US. So like you could do like Obama Romney. I live in this postal code. Okay, this is my race, this is my income, this is where you know, I live, I go to school, here's my financial situation, like if I go to school or not, whatever, right? Whatever the situation is, you can get a breakdown of like who would be the better candidate to vote for, like personally. And I think it was like 6% of the people who used the app changed their mind after using the app. So he might have changed the outcome of that whole election while in college. And that video that it was like a TEDx talk where he was talking about it. It only has 10,000 views, which is like mind blowing to me. Like it should have like at least like five or 10 million views, you know?
That's absolutely insane. And like the thing is that there are a lot of like there's a lot of hidden potential in the tech industry.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which is why we're gonna create Hack Punks, where you could buy NFTs of these young hackers, these young and promising hackers. And we'll probably expand to like other, much older hackers. But for now, like our main focus is to kind of, shine a spotlight on this young and untapped talent of young hackers. And yeah, I mean, like it's super cool because there's a lot of benefits to like not only owning a piece of this NFT, like of this I guess like this hacker trading card, because you also get updates, personal updates on like what this hacker is doing, stuff like that. You get like video updates, personal updates, just like on a blog or whatever. But yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I'm excited because I've met so many promising hackers, and like if we're able to kind of IPO these individual hackers, like I think that's so cool, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's nice giving back to the community because again, all of these proceeds will go towards sponsoring like other hackers and other young and promising talent to whatever hackathon that they want to go to. And this is opened at an international level. So people from India or people from China, whatever, people from anywhere really, like
the far and distant land of Canada, where all of us are from.
Oh gosh, Canada, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. Can't wait to like do this and work on this project because I don't know. There's a lot of potential to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think what I'm curious to ask about is so are you minting people that you only know, or would you be able to do like a Gary Vaynerchuk NFT where you kind of create a trading card about him? Like, can you do celebrities, like business celebrities? Oh, you can?
I mean, as of now, we just kind of want to focus on not celebrities, but like we want to focus on young talent, right? Mm-hmm. People who aren't really known, sort of like students or whatever. We want to get to know these students on a personal level first, kind of get to know what they're building and stuff, and then we'll like mint them, I guess. I mean, like it's still in its idea phase, so lots to change. We're open to any ideas though. Like if you want to get in on this, like on the project, like let me know, because definitely like would appreciate some help because this is a really big project.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool to to take a look at that. And if you want, like I know of a few people in the tech space who might be interested in minting themselves because they just recently got off of some rounds. So like they've raised a bit of money and their products are really cool. Like Jack and I are personally fans of them. But at the same time, they're not very well known. You know, like they've just done like pre-seed or seed rounds. They're still kind of low key, but you know, we're quite confident that they're going to do well. So I can always do like warm intros for you through email
Yeah,
or Twitter.
that'd be great. Yeah, love to like turn them into NFTs.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of like brutal.
Hey,
Like,
yeah, someone wants to IPO your being
yeah,
into an
exactly,
NFT.
right?
Yeah.
So would you ever consider expanding it to entrepreneurs in other spaces, or would you focus it only on hackers?
Um, as of now, I just want to focus on hackers, and then eventually, as we grow in size, because right now we're only a team of 4,
Yeah.
right? We can only do so much. But eventually, we could expand it to entrepreneurs, even celebrities. But as of now, I just want to focus on underrated young hackers or underrated entrepreneurs, underrated business owners. But yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's amazing stuff. Yeah, I guess I really only have a few more questions left for you. Actually, before I go on to that, can you tell others a little bit about how, you know, they can purchase your NFTs, how they can check them out? Is there like a link that you want to promote? I just kind of want to give you that time to do that right now.
Yeah, of course, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please follow my Twitter. It's Jelena Chaing, so JELENACHAING on Twitter. I will be posting a lot of content on there and updates on Miami Punks and the Hack Punks. Other than that, yeah, Twitter is like my main hub. You're gonna get all the links if you go on my Twitter. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess the question that I want to ask next is, I really only have 2 more questions, and they're kind of more about you and your aspirations. So first of all, when you're finished with the prototype for RIPTK, are you thinking of applying to, you know, like Y Combinator or raising a pre-seed or a seed round? What's kind of your timeline? Do you want to start doing that in a few months, or like what's kind of your game plan right now?
Yeah. So as for Y Combinator, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not desperate to apply. I think it'd be a nice addition to kind of have that community of founders and also like mentors and VCs to help me out and stuff. But I don't know. I think my main focus right now is to get this prototype done, and I'll talk to a bunch of VCs and apply to either YC or other accelerators after this, after we finish our prototype. But other than that, I guess I'm not really in that much of a rush to kind of apply to YC and to kind of accelerate it, because we're going at a pretty good pace. We've raised 15K so far for our pre-seed.
Nice.
We don't even have a prototype, and honestly, I'm super grateful for those who did invest. Shout out to Andrew Blanchard and Damien and Ian Lockhart, who are the investors, who are the 3 main investors.
And these are angel investors?
Yes,
Awesome.
they are. And they're also my mentors, so I've known them personally for like a year or a few months. And they're pretty great. So I don't know. I'm just kind of taking my time and also focusing on the tech, making sure that everything works well before I kind of bootstrap and go into accelerator mode. Just kind of figuring things out as I go, because there is no manual for how to create a successful startup. I mean, like, there are threads and stuff and like books on like, oh, like how to like, you know, bootstrap your startup, but like there's no true one path to kind of create a successful startup. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own story. You just kind of have to figure it out. You just kind of have to figure it out as you go, really. But yeah, either way, you'll get there one day. So.
Yeah, and my second and final question, I'll ask this before I give it to Jack for just any closing questions, but so what's the what's the plan for college? Are you thinking about just not going at all, or like what's kind of your plan there? Like if you don't mind me asking.
The big question that everybody likes to ask.
Well, I saved it for the end.
Yeah, so as for uni or college, I personally, I'm not against going to school, obviously, but I don't want to go to school for the sake of just going and getting a degree to, secure a job. Because thing is that you don't really, unless you're going to become an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer, you technically don't really need to go to university to get a job, right? And the thing is that I love figuring things out on my own. I love exploring. I love just learning new concepts vicariously through people and just talking to a bunch of people. And I can't get that same experience with university. Now, I might be wrong. There might be a university out there that, cultivates this experience of, talking to new people and like exploring different things or whatever. But as of now, I am learning so much more on my gap year. So in conclusion, I don't think I'm going to go to university or college anytime soon. And yeah, I mean, if I do go, I want to go because I want to learn a new concept, and I can't get that anywhere else. And yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think you're really moving into kind of a new trend that we're seeing almost, where it's almost a lot easier to learn from running your own startup than it is from going to university. You see that right now with like the Teal Fellowship. People are doing that all the time now. It may not be like the right path for everyone, but it sounds like it's the right path for somebody like you who is ambitious and you want to start your own company. So I really do applaud you for that. I think that's really, really awesome. It's really cool. And yeah, I mean, before I give it over to Jack, I think it was really, really great hearing from you. And yeah, I can't wait to help you out with your project. Anything that you need, please let us know. And yeah, hopefully you can come on once again.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, by the way. Like, this is awesome. And again, thank you for offering for help. I might take you up on that one actually, with the hack punks. And I just want to kind of add one final note to, not going to uni and everything. I want to be intentional about my learning, or I want to be intentional about education, right? I don't want to just go because everybody else is telling me to go, right? Growing up, especially in an immigrant household, I mean, like, my parents always told me, like, you should become a doctor, or you should become a pharmacist. My mom still nags me to this day. Every time we go to the doctors for a visit, she's like, you should have become a doctor. Like, why did you start your startup and stuff like that? Even though, it's starting to take off. And I think it's been ingrained into a lot of us, especially in society, where, college and university is kind of the automatic next step right after you graduate from high school. And because it's the automatic next step, not a lot of people take a step back and reflect on what they really want to do. I remember I was sitting in my guidance counselor's office when I was 17, and I was completely lost, didn't know what I wanted to do. I asked him, like, what do I do after high school? And he said, just apply to uni and figure it out there. And I thought to myself, what a stupid thing to say, because why would I want to willingly pour in thousands of dollars, go into student debt to kind of figure out what I like, right? It just didn't make any sense to me. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to go to uni, going to take a gap year, figure out what I want to do, and learn on my own. And it's been great so far.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, especially a lot of high school students, will gain a lot from that. So thank you for adding that on. Jack, do you have anything else to ask or to add?
Yeah, just kind of my my final point is that one of my biggest aspirations personally is to become a venture capitalist. And then one of the areas where I really want to make a lot of investments is to kind of build an avenue where you can say, hey, so-and-so is going to school to be a doctor, so-and-so is going to school to be a lawyer. This person's going to somewhere or not going to somewhere to become an entrepreneur, and that becomes a mainstream thing. Like it no longer becomes, oh wow, you're becoming an entrepreneur. Like, you know, what if this doesn't work out or this or that? And I think it'd be really cool just to live in a world where that was like a normal career path.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that, because I received a lot of criticism, especially when I didn't have an idea, didn't have a product, didn't have a prototype. Like this was within the first few months of me kind of brainstorming startup ideas, because when I told my friends and when I told my family, hey, like I want to start my startup, right? I want to, not go to uni and become an entrepreneur. I received a lot of negative feedback and a lot of negative comments. A lot of them said, you can't do it. How are you going to become an entrepreneur without school? And the thing is, and I'm pretty sure Justin Kahn said this in one of his videos, or was it a TikTok? I don't remember, but he said, you should never go study business. Like you should never go to uni to study business, because you can't learn business by just going to uni. You actually have to actively do it. So going to uni to study business, and I apologize for all the business majors out there, but like it's...
Yeah, Jack's one of them actually.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, it's kind of pointless, right? Because like as a startup founder, I learned how to incorporate, learned how to set up my business models, how to set up, like I'm actively doing it, right? Like I'm putting all of your learnings into action. So you learn a lot more, especially in business, by just building instead of just sitting in a lecture and like listening to your professors talk. That's my take on it. Obviously I'm biased because I'm a startup founder and I didn't go to uni. But yeah, I mean, would love to hear your perspective on going to uni for business.
Yeah, like I think one of the main reasons on why people choose to be business majors or, choose to go to school is because, I'll just speak in the business major world. The three most common jobs people go for is investment banking, private equity, management consultant. And at least in today's day and age, those jobs aren't possible to get unless you're like a 3.7, 3.8 GPA, top university, top of your class, all these other extracurriculars. And then at the end of it, you get paid $160,000 a year to do something you're probably not going to like. It's like, I just don't think there's a huge avenue for people to pursue their own thing. Like, it's not really a very common thing to hear.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Which is why I wanted to start a startup in the first place, was because as I was nearing graduation, I thought to myself, holy shit, am I about to go to uni, get a 9-to-5 job, and like retire at like, I don't know, 65 while working at a job that I probably don't like? I was like, no, that life is not cut out for me. I'd rather start something that I enjoy doing, and that's working on my startup, working on a project that I enjoy and that I, see a really, really great future for. But yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion, of course.
Yeah, and I actually remember this one time, I was reading this article a few years ago, where it's like some investment banker was talking about why you shouldn't go into IB just for the money, because a lot of people think that it's the guys with the really expensive suits that are making all the money, but in actuality, it's the guys walking in with flip-flops who are going to benefit the most from that merger or acquisition, who are going to make the most money from that deal. So it's really, even though it's great to make money in that field, there are also other ways you can do really well financially, besides going into IB or private equity, management consulting, that sort of stuff. I mean, there's just so much to do now. And so, I think I totally agree with what you're saying. It's like maybe the lectures that we listen to, we take notes from, maybe they haven't, maybe they're not taking into account trends like NFTs or crypto, which might be a pretty good opportunity for some people. I'm actually, like, I want to emphasize, I'm unbiased when it comes to crypto, NFTs. I definitely have my opinions swayed and all that, but at the same time, I respect other people's opinions. So it's like some people want to get into crypto, totally cool. Some people are totally against it. I like to hear their thoughts as well. So yeah, like it's there, but the point is there's just a whole new world emerging, and I find that it's a lot easier to learn about that new world when you're doing a startup, when you're talking to people, when you're, even browsing through Twitter, you're going to read a lot of new information. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
of course.
also
Sorry,
like
go ahead.
I've talked to profs, I've talked to like guest lecturers or whatever, and they've fully said like think smaller. Like
mm,
don't dream of some, huge aspiration, just focus on like a small little thing. And it's just that's such stupid advice. It's like I think you
Exactly.
should go for something as big as you want to.
hmm
Listen here. You got one shot at this one life that you have. Why settle? And like I'm not judging those who want to dream small, whatever. But like if you want to dream big, why are you letting other people stunt your dream?
mm,
Like fuck it, like shoot for Mars. Don't shoot for the moon, shoot for Mars. Or like what's the furthest planet? Like shoot for fucking Pluto, right?
yeah.
Or Jupiter. Literally nobody in this life, people are going to say a lot of shit. People are going to say a lot of things about you or whatever. At the end of the day, you're going to die alone, and it's you who's going to
mm,
be with, like you're the only person in this life that actually experiences all of like, I don't know, like it's your life. Do
hmm
whatever the fuck you want. Don't let other people sway you from doing whatever you want, right? Like at the end of the day, yeah, sure, people are going to be concerned about you, whatever. They're going to say stuff. Take it or leave. Like you can listen to them and dream small, but if you have a big dream, shoot for it. Shoot your shot, right? Like who knows what could happen? Who knows what you can build? Who knows what you're capable of? And only you know what you're capable of. Nobody else knows what you're capable of. They haven't been there since day one, right? So like literally fuck what other people say about you. Like I mean like especially my tweets, I tweet like the randomest things, and I've had so many people DM me like, oh, like why would you like this, why would you post this, whatever, right? Like at the end of the day, it's my life. I'll post whatever the fuck I want. I literally posted like I fucking love MILFs, right? Like doesn't matter. Like I received some backlash on it, not gonna lie. People were like kind of like weirded out by that, but like if I love MILFs, like like I'll post about it, you know what I
The
mean? Like
public deserves to know. Like, I mean, yeah.
exactly. The public deserves to know that I love MILFs. Like like life's too short to take it way too seriously. Do whatever the fuck you want. You want to wear pajamas in like, I don't know, you want to wear pajamas in Miami? Fucking go wear pajamas in Miami. Who's going to give two fucks about that? I don't care. Like, it's your life. Literally do whatever you want. I had a random ass crackhead come up to me in Montreal, scream at me, and then punch like the door on the subway. I was like, you know what? Good job, bud. Like, you go live your best life, because like literally fuck what other people say. Like, he's like that crackhead that I met on the subway. That's the level of like I don't give a fuck. Like that's I want to be him. You know what I mean? Like I aspire to be him. Like I aspire to have that level of like I don't give a fuck about anybody anymore, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, like literally, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I agree with like, I think 99% of what you just said. The one thing that I think I don't agree with is that even we don't know our own potential,
That is so
That's
true.
that's the thing. Like it's like you do something and you're like, whoa, like this is actually taking off. I never thought I could do this. And you can't really get that feeling unless if you just go
Do
for
it.
it. And one more piece of advice I kind of want to add on to that is, especially if you're just recently out of high school or university, if you're broke and you don't have a job at 25, it's really not a huge deal. So why not take the risks from now until then, right? Like you have the time to like, you don't have a spouse or kids or like a mortgage to pay. So like, now is kind of the best time to try and be a rock star, or try to start a company, or try to whatever, right? Like there's just so much you can do. So it wouldn't hurt to just try it out. That's really it. And you'd be surprised at like where you can go if you just kind of just poke at it a little bit, try it out, and then you'll see that it's worth it, in my opinion.
I mean, just do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's stopping you? And that's actually an interesting point that you mentioned there, because I had a conversation with a buddy of mine the other day, and we were like, it was an interesting observation, because we said, as you get older, you have more responsibilities, such as, you've got mortgage to pay for, you've got your partner to take care of, and your kids probably, right? And as you get older, and as these responsibilities accumulate, like, your potential to do whatever you want radically reduces.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like recent high school graduates, students, young adults, you guys are you aren't at your peak right now, but like, take advantage of this time, because your one superpower, like, is time. You've got all the time in the world. Even younger, let's say like high school students, right? You've got all the time. Build. Talk to people, learn a bunch of shit, right? I mean, like, partying is cool and all, but like, take this time to build something cool, or do whatever you want. Start that podcast, start that YouTube channel, start that startup. Like, now's the time to do it, if anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're totally nailing it. And yeah, listen, I think this was, I just want to be mindful of your time. We could do this like all day. Like you strike me as someone that Jack and I would probably just want to hang out with, just like in general, like not even like on a podcast or talking about business, just like chill at the park or something and just hang. But we also know that you're really tired. You didn't really sleep as much last night. We want to let you rest. But listen, this was a really great podcast. I really enjoyed hearing your take. And I'm really happy to hear about your recent raise. And here's to many more. I really hope that you do well. And I think you will. I really like your attitude. I love your persistence. So as far as like, your NFT project, RIPTK, like, we're really looking forward to seeing what you're going to build. So yeah, like, again, guys, thank you all for listening to this podcast. And yeah, like, we're hoping you come on, sometime in the near future, just to get some updates on, what you're doing.
100%. And thank you. As a final note, I might seem a little bit eccentric, but I promise you that's just part of my personality. And another thing that I want to mention is that the reason why I seem to not have a filter is because I want to break this barrier of, if you're starting a startup, you have this sort of reputation that you have to maintain. You can't be fun and have a startup, right? You can't shit post and have a startup, or else people aren't going to take you seriously, right? Like, I want to destigmatize that, basically, right? I can be fun, I can be smart, I can be serious, and I can shit post whenever I want to, and I will be taken seriously, right? So yeah, I mean, final note, again, thank you for having me on this podcast. It's been a pleasure to talk to you and I don't know, just, I guess, talk about myself. I mean, again, thank you for having me. And I don't know, are you guys in Ottawa? Like, feel free to shoot me a DM. I'm so down to hang. So
we're in Toronto, actually.
Oh fuck, never mind then.
Why?
I mean, if I ever do visit the city, I'll message you guys and then we can hang.
Yeah,
well, not to be
to Ottawa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's happening because of COVID, to be honest with you. I want to go back, but at the same time, it's just a weird situation. Yeah, but no, I'm totally down to hang. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna cross paths, and we'll definitely grab lunch or something. I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. All right. Thanks for having me, guys.